Injuries always feel bigger than they sometimes are. One missed game can spark panic. One knock can create headlines. But here's the reality. Not every injury is a crisis. Right now, Manchester City fans are asking about three names: Erling Haaland, Nico O'Reilly, and Joško Gvardiol. So let's clear the noise and break down exactly what's going on. Welcome to Manchester Pitch Talk. If you're just joining us, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a Manchester City update. Let's start with Erling Haaland. There were immediate concerns when Haaland missed the last match against Leeds. When the team sheet dropped and his name wasn't there, social media exploded. Was it serious? Was it precautionary? Was something bigger happening? Here's the important part. Haaland has only missed that one match. That changes the tone completely. This wasn't a long-term absence. It wasn't weeks on the sidelines. It was a short-term issue that required careful management. From what we understand, it was more about precaution and physical management rather than a major setback. And when you think about City's schedule, it makes sense. Pep Guardiola has always prioritized long-term availability over short-term risk. If there's even a small muscle concern, Pep would rather rest Haaland for one match than risk losing him for 5. That's smart management. Now, the big question, when will he return? If everything progresses normally in training, Haaland is expected to be back very soon, possibly available for the next fixture. There's no indication of a long-term injury at this stage. But here's the debate. Should City rotate Haaland more often this season? Because let's be honest, he plays a physically demanding role. Constant sprints, physical duels, explosive movements. Some fans believe resting him occasionally is smart. Others argue that City look more direct and more dangerous with him leading the line. So I want to ask you, is occasional rotation good for Haaland, or should he start every major game? Now let's talk about Nico O'Reilly. This situation is slightly different. Nico picked up an injury during the last match against Leeds. Unlike Haaland, who was rested, Nico's issue came during the intensity of the game itself. For a young player trying to cement his role in the squad, that's frustrating. He's been growing in confidence, showing composure on the ball, and adding energy in midfield. So when he went down, you could see the concern. The early reports suggest it's not a major long-term injury, but he will need time to recover properly. The club will likely assess him over the coming days to determine the exact recovery timeline. With younger players especially, the medical team is cautious. You don't rush development. Realistically, Nico may miss the upcoming fixture or two, depending on how he responds to treatment. And here's an important question for fans. When he returns, should Pep immediately put him back into rotation? Or does he need to earn rhythm again slowly? Because sometimes injuries don't just affect fitness. They affect confidence. But they can also build resilience. Now, let's move to Joško Gvardiol. Gvardiol's situation adds another layer to City's defensive structure. He's become an important part of the backline, aggressive in challenges, composed in possession, and tactically flexible. If he's dealing with any knock or fitness concern that impacts defensive balance, City rely on defenders who are comfortable stepping into midfield and controlling build-up. Gvardiol does that naturally. At the moment, the report suggests monitoring rather than alarm. It doesn't appear to be a long-term absence, but the club is managing his minutes carefully. And here's something we need to highlight. This stage of the season is not about taking unnecessary risks. Pep Guardiola understands that depth wins titles. You don't need everyone at 100% every single week. You need everyone ready for the run-in. Now, let's zoom out for a second. One player missed one match. One young midfielder picked up a knock. One defender is being monitored. That's not a crisis. That's squad management. But fans feel it more intensely because expectations are higher than ever. Every match matters. Every lineup decision gets analyzed. Every injury sparks speculation. So here's the balance for you. Haaland's absence looks short-term and precautionary. Nico O'Reilly's injury will need monitoring, but early signs suggest it's manageable. Gvardiol's situation appears under control, with no major long-term fears at this point. The bigger question becomes this. Does City have enough depth to handle minor injury waves like this without losing momentum? Because title races are rarely about perfection. They're about resilience. If Haaland returns quickly, the attacking threat is restored immediately. If Nico recovers well, he adds fresh energy to midfield options. If Gvardiol remains stable, the defensive structure holds firm. And that's why this isn't panic time. It's management time. Now I want to hear from you. Are you worried about City's injury situation? Or do you trust Pep's rotation and medical team to handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's debate it properly. This is Manchester Pitch Talk. If you're just joining us, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss the latest Manchester City news. Injuries test squads. Champions respond. And the next few matches will tell us a lot. Stay blue